everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Katarina. Today's video is going to be an update to my project pan. I did a refresh to this project a couple of months ago, so what I'm doing now is that I'm trying to finish my products, and I do have 10 products in this project at once. Not more than that though, because if I have too many products, even if I really want to finish more than these products, I tend to get a little bit overwhelmed, especially with filming the video, and I will postpone it. So I will rather have a little bit smaller amount of products in and film the updates a little bit more regularly. Now it has actually been maybe 3 weeks or a little bit under since filming the last update, but it's a pretty good update. I do have 5 empties, 5 products will be staying in this project still, and then I do have 5 roll-ins. All of the products are in here, the new ones, the old ones, the empty ones. So yeah, let's just get into it. So let's first talk about the 5 empties that I do have in this project. First is the Catrice Ultra Last 2 Fixing Spray. Well, actually there is a really little bit left on the bottom. I don't know if you can see it, but it doesn't spray anymore. It's just like random spritz coming out of there. But that is where I was in the last update. So I actually used the last bit of this today that I was able to get out of the bottle. And I'm really glad that this is now done. I do think this is a nice setting spray, but I just don't like the sprayer. Also, it is a smaller packaging, only 50 ml, so it means that I would need to be constantly repurchasing. So I'm glad this is now done. I actually have bought the Iconic London Prep Set Blur Setting Spray, and I'm super excited to be able to test it out now that this one is done. So can't wait to do my makeup tomorrow now that I do have that setting spray. Another makeup empty is the Lord & Berry Brow Pencil. I actually didn't think that this would be done, and technically there is still product left. Let me show it to you. So yeah, technically there is product left, and if I wanted to I could sharpen it with a knife or something, but it has gotten to the point where it cannot be sharpened with a sharpener anymore. So yeah, I'm calling it done at this point. Anyways, I don't really like brow pencils, especially these kind of sharpenable ones, because they need to be sharpened all the time. But yeah, I'm glad that this is now gone. My brow product collection is at 0, and I am now doing my brows with eyeshadow, which I feel works for me so much better. Okay, then I do have actually 3 perfume empties. 1 10ml, 1 5ml, and 1 2ml. Let's start with the 2ml one. This one is called Affogato. Well, you cannot see a picture from here. Some of my perfume samples have the perfume bottle. But this one is Affogato from Fragrance World. And yeah, I think this is their take, kinda like on the Mancera Amor Cafe. But I do think this is still a little bit different. But it does have that sugary vanilla coffee base there. And it does have some booziness in the opening. But I feel this is not quite as sweet and sugary. I quite enjoyed this, but I think if I wanted to have a coffee fragrance, which at this point I don't know if I want to have a fragrance like that in my collection, and I will talk about that a little bit later in the roll-ins, but if I wanted to have a coffee fragrance, I probably wouldn't want it to be boozy, and this one still has a little bit of that booziness. Another sample that I finished is the Cream of Cloud, and this one also is from Fragrance World, and this one was a 5ml sample. This is their dupe on the Theodoros Kalotinis Creme Brulee. And to me, when I spray this on, this smells like vanilla ice cream with some caramel sauce and popcorn on top of it. I do think this is a kind of nice and cozy everyday gourmand. However, for me this is maybe a little bit too photorealistic, because although I am a gourmand lover, the first thing that I want to think about when I smell a perfume is, whoa, what a beautiful scent, what a beautiful fragrance. But this is one of those that instead of thinking about a beautiful scent, I start thinking about food, because it is so photorealistic. And yeah, that's why it's not maybe my cup of tea. I do think there are perfumes with sort of similar vibe. I'm not saying that are dupes, but similar cozy, soft vanilla vibe, but that are still more my taste. For example, Bianco Latte. This one is not for me necessarily, but I will say I did enjoy using it up. It was a pleasant one, but not something that I would buy a full size. And then the last perfume that I finished is the Kayali Sweet Diamond Pink Pepper. And this one, the more I used it, the less I liked it. First, I actually sampled the small sample from Kayali, and I wasn't sure if I loved it. Then I decided to buy this travel spray, and first I was really enjoying it last summer, like a year ago. But then last winter when I used this, I didn't really enjoy it because I didn't get the warmth and spiciness that this one has in it. I only smelled like rose and patchouli, and it didn't really work for me at all on cool weather. So I feel this is something that it needs the weather to be warm in order to get the spiciness and warmth and all of that it has there. But then again, on warm weather this could be a little bit too heavy. So for me it's mainly like summer night, summer special occasion sort of thing. Maybe warm spring and autumn days. And anyways, this is first and foremost a rose perfume. I'm not in general a rose lover, and when it comes to roses I do think there are better ones out there. I think if I wanted to have a rose fragrance in my collection, I would probably go for the Montal Ristretto Intense Coffee, I think it is. It is like a rose coffee vanilla gourmand. It's really beautiful, but it's so strong. I have sampled it before, but then yeah, I thought that maybe it's too much for me. But yeah, if I wanted to have a rose, that's probably it. And then I do have some fragrances that do have rose there, but it's not like the star of the show. For example, this one. This is the Shakaf Oud Tonga from Swiss Arabian. I think this one has rose in the opening, and when I smell this I can totally get it, but I also get so much more. I think this one is first and foremost Tonga bean, like the name would suggest, but the rose is there to kind of like support it and make it a little bit more feminine. But yeah, this one is really rose forward. It is a spicy rose, as the name pink pepper might suggest, but then also the patchouli there is quite strong and not in a good way. So those were all of the empties. Let's now talk about the 5 products that are not empties yet. So Banana Dreams Loose Powder from W7. I think I have marked this somehow wrong in the last update, because now I cannot see really any difference. But there you can see where the product goes. So I do have a little bit under half of the product left. This is the powder that I use every day to set my face. I do use different powder on my under eye because this one is too yellow for me there. But as a face setting powder, this works great. And I'm trying to use this up before we move. We are aiming to move in the beginning of November right now. And this is a product that I will try to get out before that. However, if this is not done, then whatever will be left I will combine with my another powder, which is the Revolution Translucent Loose Setting Powder. Then I wrote into this project a liquid eyeshadow. This one is the Pupa Vamp liquid eyeshadow in the shade 13, and this one is a light gold. And I actually used 0.10 grams of this product during the past few weeks that I have had this in this project, because I wrote this in the last update. So yeah, it has been a little bit slow. I will say I have been just digging more matte eyeshadow looks. Like the look I am doing today is this really classic matte eyeshadow look. This is just what I'm feeling right now. But every here and there I have used this one, but I don't know, at this point I don't want to force myself to go for any sort of eyeshadow that I really organically don't feel like wearing, because for the past few years, or I don't know, almost throughout my entire eyeshadow panning journey, which has been many years, I have been pressuring myself to use eyeshadows for the sake of making better progress, and there has always been this feeling that I wouldn't necessarily do these looks if it wasn't for project panning. So right now I want the use to be organic, but whenever I feel like going for a gold eyeshadow, then this is what I'm going to wear, because this one is really beautiful, but just right now I'm digging more mattes. But yeah, officially my goal would be to finish this one by the end of the year. We'll see. Maybe I will get in the holiday season really in a mood for wearing a gold eyeshadow more often. Maybe in October when the weather and nature starts to be really golden, when it's a sunny day, maybe then I will feel like wearing this, but we'll see. It's my goal, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I do want to see more effort using this up right now. I do have in this project a nail polish. This one is the Color Club nail lacquer in this like piece of cake. Now I didn't mark this because there's a little bit of progress, but not really enough to do a proper new progress line. But there you can see that the line goes a little bit below the mark in the last update, which is when I wrote this in, and this is what I'm wearing on my nails today. So this is something that I do want to focus on. I do want to get it out. It has started to become a little bit thicker what it originally was, but it's still totally usable. So yeah, this is my neutral nail polish focus right now. I am going to be rolling in a darker one also in this update, but this is the nude option. And yeah, I wish that I could finish it during the end of the year, but I don't know, I doubt it. I don't do my nails so often, but that is like my official goal. And then I do have in this project 2 skincare products. First is the Ivy Face Toner. Now, unfortunately, I didn't mark this in the last update. Maybe I will find you a picture where I was, but that is where I am right now, so not much left. This is another product that my goal is to finish before we move. Anyways, I don't think I necessarily need a toner in my routine. For me, it's enough to have a serum. Then I do have another skincare product in this project. This is the Pure & Care Night Peeling 20% Acid PHA plus AHA Serum. What a name! Again, this is something that I didn't mark in the last update when I rolled it in, but that is where I am right now. And I do think I didn't get too much use out of this one. I have used it a couple of times on my back. I do not like to use this on my face. I feel it's too strong for my face. I don't know how I feel about these exfoliators currently. I think what has worked best for me has been lactic acid serum from The Ordinary. But yeah, I don't necessarily want to buy that. I would rather buy from a brand that is not owned by these huge giants. But then I am currently using as my morning cleanser a clay cleanser that feels just a slightly exfoliating. It also has some little exfoliants there, but nothing too harsh. So I feel that kind of thing is my favorite way maybe to exfoliate. I don't know. But this one I have been using on my back, where I tend to get a little bit of acne here and there. Not like super bad, but a little pimples. And yeah, my goal is to use this one up before we move, and I will try to get there with using it on my back. Okay, so those were the 5 products that are not gone, and next let's talk about the roll-ins. First is a really gimme, but I'm still going to officially roll it into this project, even though this is probably going to be one use. This is a sample of the Huda Beauty Easy Blur. I ended up buying the Easy Blur foundation because I ordered my iconic London setting spray from Cult Beauty. They were having a sale and I wanted to get something else to get to a free shipping, and I knew that I'm going to need a new full coverage foundation in my winter shade because I only have a summer shade of a different foundation, the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage one, but that one is way too dark for me to use already. So I ended up picking the Huda Beauty Easy Blur foundation, and in the foundation packaging there was this little one-use sample of this primer, which I will say I did use from Huda, the more kind of like natural-ish or kind of like clean girl-esque brand from her. Is it Glowish or is Glowish the skincare range? I don't know, but anyways, there was this silicone-free potted primer, which I think was okay, but doesn't compare to silicone-based primer, and I have a feeling that this is going to be a little bit similar to that, but we'll see. Now, the thing is that the Huda Beauty foundation, I got it in the shade Cashew, and I think it's going to be my perfect winter match, but just right now, my tan has almost faded, but there's a little bit of color to my skin and I'm not quite my palest yet. And I think the cashew shade is going to work when I am my palest. But right now I do need to mix a little bit of darker foundation to the cashew shade from the Huda Beauty foundation. So because of that, I'm not only using the Huda Beauty foundation on my face yet. And I do want to test this sample just using the Huda Beauty foundation to see how they really work together, and also to compare if that foundation really works better with this primer or with just any primer or without primer. I always use a primer, but I wouldn't necessarily want to buy this primer unless it is really good with that foundation and like better than my normal primer. I'm probably not going to use this in the couple of weeks to become, but I do think before filming the next update my tan has worn off to the point where I'm able to test the cashew shade on its own with this primer. Then I am going to roll in a dark nail polish, as I said. This is actually going to be a black one. This is the A. England nail polish in the shade Camelot, and that is where I am. I do have a little bit over half of the bottle left. And yeah, I love black nail polish. I just have not worn it in years because I have been, when it has been fall and winter, I have been focusing on some other dark colors, like I had some burgundies and stuff like that I first wanted to focus on, and I have not allowed myself to wear this, but I really do love black nails. I have said this previously, but when I have finished my nail polish collection, I'm going to get my nails done professionally, or I might consider doing them home, but like doing actual acrylics and stuff. I don't know, we'll see if I have time and interest to start practicing that. But anyways, yeah, I'm trying to now pan my entire nail polish collection, and I do think once I have panned it and if I start getting my nails done professionally, I think I'm in fall and winter very often going to go just for black nails, but we will see. I'm excited to be rolling this one in. So the piece of cake from Color Club is going to be my more neutral light option, and this is going to be my dark option. I cannot wait to wear it. It has been such a long time since I have last worn black nail polish, and my goal is to finish that nail polish, I would say, before spring really hits. Then I'm going to roll in one perfume to this project. Now there are a few perfumes that I do want to finish this becoming fall and winter season, but one of them is something that I want to officially start focusing on right now, and that is the Coffee Addict from Theodoros Kalotinis. I am wearing this perfume today and I think it works really well. Today is kind of like a warm beginning of autumn day, and I do think this is another perfume that works a little bit better on warm weather, because on cool weather it's just kind of like boring and a little bit lackluster, but if it is a little bit warmer, it really makes it sweet and the coffee comes out more beautifully. There's like this caramel vibe going on there, you get the vanilla. So it works really well right now, but in general I think I don't necessarily need to have a coffee perfume. Like if I just could wear whatever perfume I wanted to, I would probably this time of the year go every single day for my Huda Empire Victor, which is like a citrusy caramel vanilla gourmand. Absolutely, oh my god, absolutely stunning. So this is a perfume that I love. Like when I smell it, I'm like, oh, it gets to me somehow. But yeah, this is something that it smells nice, but then the weather needs to be appropriate for this to smell its best. And I love coffee, I love to drink it, but I don't know if I need a perfume like that. Anyways, my goal is to finish this one during this fall and winter. So that is where I am right now. And this is what I'm going to be focusing on as my everyday perfume right now. Now this is a 50ml bottle, unlike a lot of those Arabic fragrances are 100ml bottles, so there's not quite that much. I think I have used maybe 10 mils, so I do have approximately 40 mils left. So we'll see in the next update where I am. Okay, then I'm still going to roll in two skincare products. One of them is a really short-term product. I want it out before we move. I really do not want to move this packaging with me. And another one is going to be a little bit more long-term product in this project. But the one that I want to finish quickly is this Sence Emrace Sea Salt Body Scrub. I actually really do like this. This one smells absolutely beautiful. I love it. And anyways, I do think this is a really good body scrub, because sometimes body scrubs, they're really bad and do nothing, but this one is really like salt that is scented, and it's really nice. There's not too much left here. As you can see, I'm really close to the bottom, but yeah, I just never remember to use this. So I do want to finish this one before we move. And in future, if I'm going to buy body scrubs, I do think I'm going to buy from this Sence brand. It's something that I can buy from normal. This one was a limited edition one, but they do have like a coconut one and maybe aloe vera or cucumber or something like that. So maybe in future I will buy the coconut one, but now I do want to finish this one and not buy a new body scrub before we have moved. And then the last product I'm going to roll into this project is this one. I'm embarrassed. This is the Dr. Botanical Moroccan Rose Concentrated Body Oil, and the reason I am embarrassed is that I got this one from my Tipbox Advent Calendar, and I got that Advent Calendar back in 2020. So it has been 5 years since getting this one, and I have barely used it. That is where I am. The bottle is almost full. I think I have maybe once used it, and I was thinking if I even want to use it because it's so old and it is like a natural product. However, because I'm using this on my body, which is not so sensitive, maybe apart from my back, where I can use something else if I feel this is causing issues, I'm going to use this. This one does smell beautiful. This is actually a rose smell that I like. It's this sweet... Oh my god, I would actually love to own a perfume smelling like this, but I feel that very often rose perfumes just don't smell like that. It is like a sweet and warm rose. I don't think I'm going to use this one like all around my body, but maybe if I have shaved I will use this one. Maybe sometimes oiling my hands, stuff like that. But yeah, this is a reason why I will never again get any beauty subscription boxes or advent calendars, because there's just so much product coming in and I just don't get to those products because there's so much. Okay, so that was everything for today. I do want to film an update to this project pan probably somewhere in October. Right now I really do want to get those easy use products out, and then some of those longer term products like the body oil, like the nail polish, like the perfume, I want to start getting good use out of them right now. And by the way, my next video is probably going to be my nail polish and perfume collection, where I will talk about some of my plan to pan thoughts. I will also share in that video like the other perfumes that I want to finish this becoming fall and winter. But yeah, the Theodoros Kalotinis one is the one that I really want to start focusing on starting now, so that's why that is going in this project right now. But that's everything for today. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye bye.